My name's Lane Martin. I live in Miami Beach, Florida. I got my master's captain's license and sailing and towing endorsements with Mariner's Learning System. Yeah, I had a friend in high school whose family owned a house on Long Island in Casco Bay, Maine. They invited me to go spend the summer on this island, and they had a day sailor called an albacore, and I got exposed to sailing around in a little sailboat. I grew up in Bethesda, Maryland, which is a Washington suburb. The man across the street had a little sailboat on a trailer in his driveway with a tarp over it. Boat needed some work, so I said, I'll help you fix up your boat. He took me out to Chesapeake Bay and sailed around, and he let me sail the boat. And I wouldn't say I exactly learned how to sail, but at some point you just learn by doing. But it wasn't formal instruction. And then when I got out of high school, I went to the University of Maryland. I saw that I could take Red Cross certified sailing as a class. I knew I liked the sailing and the boating and getting out in the water, but it was also an amazing mini vacation twice a week just to get off campus and get outside and do something fun. After college, I moved to Los Angeles. I joined a sailing club in Marina del Rey. And so for 10 years, I would rent a boat or charter a boat with friends and family and sail over to Catalina, maybe twice a year, spend a week there. And then I started to charter boats in the Caribbean. I think I was a little bit bold because I always bareboated. I never took a crewed charter with a captain. But I started to charter more and more British Virgin Islands, US Virgin Islands, and did a charter from, I guess it was St. Lucia down to Grenada. And one of those trips, we had a lot of really blustery weather, and I came back feeling like I've kind of arrived, I was confident that I knew what I was doing. Not cocky, because I'm still learning and willing to learn right now. I'd had a career as an investment advisor, just didn't want to do it anymore, and was old enough to retire, but I didn't know what I wanted to do instead. The second thing was COVID. My kids call me and say, "Dad, we want to go on a charter trip. We want to go sailing." We chartered a boat in the Florida Keys for 2 weeks, and the base manager down in Key West said, "You get your captain's license and we'll put you to work." And I didn't really want to do crewed charters, but the idea was intriguing. It planted the idea in my head that I should retire from the financial world, get my captain's license, and just see what happens. It seemed like Mariners had a long history. You have to just take on faith that you're going to get what's promised, and it turned out that way. The support, both technical support as far as software, but then also the captaining knowledge. Questions would come up when I didn't understand, certain things in the material. And that didn't happen very often, but there were a few times I called the school and had a question. It was easy to just immediately get somebody on the phone who could answer the question. And I think my questions were related to captaining. I didn't have any technical trouble. I didn't need to say, "Hey, I can't get logged in," or "I don't understand the flow of the software," and where to find my way. I had gone back to school to finish an undergraduate degree online, and so it was just really similar to that. Easy, at your own pace, nothing difficult about it. There are 2 charter companies I have relationships with. It looks to me like I could transition to captaining jobs right here in Miami. I've been doing some networking here to see if I could shift to getting enough captaining work right here in Miami to where I don't need to go anywhere. Or, maybe there's deliveries up to Jacksonville or around to St. Petersburg, Florida, or something like that. I had connections with charter companies down in the Caribbean. That's just 1 or 2 things. And so now I want to expand on that. I just can't think of reasons not to do it. If you're even thinking about it, it's probably the right thing for you. You could do it faster than I did. I wasn't very good at putting other things in my life on hold to really zero in on just moving through the coursework and getting it done quickly. The final exam was not difficult. The questions on the exam are exactly what they prepare you to need to know.